Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome to this episode. Inshallah, in this episode, we discuss our next topic, which is Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq. Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq, in some books, you find it as Al-Masdar. Some books discuss it under Al-Masdar. If you are to follow the Al-Ajrumiyya lessons that we just started sharing, inshallah, you realize that when it gets to the topic Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq, it will rather say Al-Masdar. In Ajrumiyya, that is how it is described under the chapter of Al-Mansubat or Mansubat al-Asma. But here in our book here is Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq, and Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq is the terminology that is more popular, not the Al-Masdar. But when Al-Masdar is said under Mansubat al-Asma, what we refer to is Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq. Now, Masdar generally means gerund, G-E-R-U-N-D, or verbal noun. Okay, Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq is the same thing, just that when we mention Masdar and the Mansubat al-Asma or Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq, we mean a Masdar that is Mansub, basically. Al-Maf'ul al-Mutlaq is a Masdar that is Mansub, because you can have a verbal noun coming as Marfu. Something like Dhahaba, the Masdar is Al-Dhahab. Al-Dhahab. Masdar, what we mean by verbal noun is the noun of the action. So to go, when I want to say going, going, not the verb but the noun going, I will say al-dhahab. Al-dhahab can come mansub, can come marfu, like where I say al-dhahabu, it can come al-dhahabi, like bil-dhahabi. So, but when we say al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, we mean the masdar that is mansub. So when you check the definition of al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, you realize that it comes with, it will say masdarun mansubun. You get it? Masdarun mansubun, something like this. So when you see a masdar, a verbal noun that is mansub, mostly serves the purpose of maf'ulun, al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. And when we say al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, those who are conversant with English grammar, that is the cognate object, the COGNATE, cognate object in the verbal sentence. Okay. A definition of it or an explanation of it before we get to the lesson. When we say al-maf'ul al-mutlaq or maf'ul al-mutlaq in a verbal sentence, we mean that you get a verb and then the fa'il will come, all right? You can even have the maf'ul bihi, and then the verbal noun of the verb will come again, and it comes again for three purposes. The verbal noun of the verb that you found in your verbal sentence, like ذهب الولد ذهابا. You see the verbal noun of the verb has come at the end. It can come for emphasis. It can come to show the type of the action. You know, it comes in all that format. Inshallah, we will see all those. Let's get to the material right away. He says, لعب حسن لعبا. So لعب, the verbal noun is لعبا, and you realize that it comes mansub. So Hassan played a play. In English grammar, that is how it translated. Hassan played a play. But if you want to translate it to reflect the meaning of the purpose of the maf'ul mutlaq here, what do you say? It Hassan indeed played. It comes to serve the purpose of emphasis. So when you understand the maf'ul al-mutlaq and their purpose, you get to translate it accurately. So la'iba Hasanun la'iban, Hassan played a play. Is that the actual meaning? No. Hassan indeed played, because the maf'ul mutlaq here comes to show emphasis, which I will clarify all at the end of the lesson, and inshallah I'm sure you'll be able to translate all of them accurately. خطف الثعلب الدجاجة خطفا. خطف, to pluck, to pick, to snatch. So خطف الثعلب, the fox, F-O-X, the fox seized or picked the chicken, a picking, and it indeed picked it. It gave it such a picking, kind of it snatched it quickly, or it indeed picked it, something like that. Okay, and so this is the masdar or the المفعول المطلق, because it is the verbal noun. It is the masdar of the verb khatafa. The verbal noun of it, the masdar of the verb khatafa is what? Khatfun. But here it comes mansub, and so we say it is the maf'ulun mutlaq. Okay, and it says yashrabu tiflu labana shurban. So you realize that shurban is the verbal noun of shariba. Yashrabu shurban. Okay, and so it says the boy really drank the laban. That is how I'll translate it. The child really drank the laban. Okay. Then it says yathibu namiru wuthub al asadi. Yathibu, to pounce, to kind of jump. The way tigers and lions, the way they pounce on something, that is what we call wathaba. It's from the verb wathaba. It says wathaba, then we get yathibu, and namiru is tigress or leopardess, feminine. Yathibu namiru wuthub al asadi. The tigress pounces, the pouncing of a lion. So here, the wuthuba here is the verbal noun of wathaba. Yathibu, wathaba yathibu wuthuban. So you realize that the wuthub comes here and it is mansub, but then it has a mudaf ilay. So yathibu namiru, the tigress pounces, wuthub al-asadi, the pouncing of a lion. Marra, so he's showing the type of pouncing the tigress pounces. It's marra al-kitaru, marra al-sahabi, the train passed a passage of the clouds. Yani the kind of passage of the train looked like the way clouds pass. So you realize that marra, the verbal noun, is marrun, and here it came mansub. So you have the maf'ul mutlaq here. Jara Khalidun jariyan sari'an. Khalidun ran a quick running. Khalid ran a quick running. So here jari is the verbal noun of jara. So jara, to run, the verbal noun is jari, running. Okay, so we have jara Khalidun jariyan sari'an. So the jariyan here is the al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, or the maf'ul al-mutlaq. Then we come to the third part. Now take note of something. Here the verbal nouns came alone. The maf'ul mutlaq, they came alone here. That is the cognate object. You find it standing alone. The second partition, we find it coming as mudaf for a particular mudaf ilay. Wuthub al-asadi, the pouncing of a lion. Marra sahabi, the passage of clouds. Jariyan sari'an, and here it came with an adjective. It is being described. Okay, let's take note of all these differences. It says akala aliyun aklataini. Aliyun ate twice. Ali ate twice. Taduru al-ardu dawratan fil yawm. The earth rotates once a day. Taduru al-ardu dawratan fil yawm. Akl is the verbal noun, so here it came with a tau. Take note of what you are going to be seeing in the 7 to 9 here. You find the verbal nouns coming with a tau. So akala, the verbal noun is aklun, but here it came aklataini. Yani aklatun, aklataini, aklatun 1, aklataini 2, thalatha, you say thalathu akalat, all right, 3. So you keep counting on like that. But the one we say aklatun, to show once, aklataini, twice. So Ali ate twice. Taduru al-ardu dawratan fil yawm. The earth rotates once a day. Taduru, dara yaduru. The verbal noun is dawrun. And then here we get dawratan. You get it? So the tau comes to show times. Okay? Daraba al-khadimu al-aqraba darbatan. The servant hit the scorpion severely. That is how I will translate it. It comes to show emphasis. Darab al-khadimu al-aqrabu darbatan. Once. He hit the scorpion once, because of the tau, the verbal noun he has here. Because the verbal noun of daraba is what? Darbun. When the tau comes, it comes to show the number of times. So we either say darbatun, darbataini, darbatan, darbataini, thalathu darabat, something like that. So when you are showing the times of the action happening, the tau should come in. The bath The explanation will give us all that. So here we have البحث. نحن نعرف ما في الأمثلة السابقة من فعل وفاعل ومفعول به. We know with regards what is in the previous sentences that has to do with فعل, فاعل, فعل, فاعل, and مفعول به. We know that. We are used to those. So we know that ضرب is فعل, الخادم is فاعل, الأقرب is مفعول به. We know that. Those ones are quite easy for us. ولكن بها كلمات نريد أن نعرفها, but there are some words in there that we want to know their i'rab, their grammatical position, and hence know their meaning, know what meaning they bring to the sentence. The words are لعبا, خطفا, شربا أو شربا, وثوب الأسد, مر السهاب, جريا, أكلتين, دورة, ضربة. These words we want to know their grammatical position and the change they bring to the sentence. It says فإذا تأملناها وجدناها جميعا أسماء منصوبة. If we should ponder over them, we realize that all of them are mansuba. As we've seen already, they all came mansub. وإذا نظرنا إلى كل كلمة وضح الذي في جملتها رأينا أنها تشمل على حروف هذا الفعل. يعني وإذا نظرنا إلى كل كلمة I think I don't know if it is my print that is not clear. وضاحيناها بالفعل الذي في جملتها. يعني if you look at each كلمة, each of these كلمات لعبا, خطفا, شربا, وثوب الأسد, if you look at these كلمات and we compare them to the verbs in their sentences, in the sentences that they are found in, رأينا أنها تشمل على حروف هذا الفعل. We realize that these مصادر, these verbal nouns, they contain the same huruf as the verbs. You get it? As I was showing, لعب, and then you have لعبا, and then you have شرب, شربا, خطف, خطفا. So you realize that the verbal noun is just the letters of the verb. Sometimes a little bit is added to it, sometimes nothing at all is added. Okay? And so he says you find the same letters in the verbal noun. ثم إذا رجعنا إلى الأمثلة الثلاثة الأولى. And then if you get back to the first three examples, so you can easily check back. If you have the book, you can easily cross-check. If we ثم إذا رجعنا إلى الأمثلة الثلاثة الأولى, if we check the first three examples, these ones, I've already done the explanation that is supposed to be done. The first three ones, if we check them, وبحثنا في معناها قليلا, and we kind of check in their meanings a little bit. رأينا أن الكلمات المنصوبة وهي لعبا وخطفا وشربا أضافت إلى الجملة معنى جديدا. We realize that they've added a new meaning to the sentence. لعب حسن لعبا. Hassan indeed played. So the meaning that it will give to us, that is what he wants to show us here. So he says that معنى جديدا فإن لعب حسن لعبا أقوى من. Take note of this. فإن لعب حسن لعبا. So the sentence Hassan played a play. أقوى من لعب حسن is stronger than you saying لعب حسن. When you just say simply لعب حسن and I say لعب حسن لعبا, mine is stronger than yours. لأننا في الجملة الأولى نريد أن نفهم السامع أن حسنا. So he says that لأننا في الجملة لأننا في الجملة الأولى because in the first sentence نريد أن نفهم السامع أن حسنا لعب حقيقة. We want to make the listener understand that Hassan indeed played. We want to emphasize on the play. Okay. So we say, let me see. We have it says, so it shows that when you say La'iba Hasanun, Hassan played, and then La'iba Hasanun La'iban. Hassan indeed played. Yani La'iba Hasanun Hakikatan La'iba fi'lan. It shows emphasis. وأنه يجب ألا يشق في ذلك فكلمة, and that the listener shouldn't doubt it. When you add the masdar, when you add the maf'ul mutlaq, it shows emphasis and that the listener shouldn't doubt it. فكلمة لعبا أكدت المعنى. The word لعبا أكدت المعنى. It has emphasized the meaning. وكذلك يقال في المثالين الآخرين. And so is said in the second two examples. So you have the first example being explained here, taken as a sample. The second and third also follow the same way, where you have the words khatfan and shurban coming to serve the purpose of ta'kid or tawkid. It says وبتأمل معنى الأمثلة الثلاثة الثانية. And when we ponder over the second three examples, نرى الأسماء المنصوبة فيها أفادتنا فائدة جديدة. We realize that the nouns that are mansub in there, we mean the المفعول مطلق in there, they have given us a new meaning. لأننا حينما نقول, because when we say يثب النمر, the tigress pounced, ونسكت, and we keep quiet, لا يفهم السامع إلا حصول الوثوب من النمر. The listener only understand that we are saying that, okay, the tigress pounced. That is the whole meaning the listener understands. ولكننا إذا قلنا بعد ذلك, but if we say after that وثوب الأسد, يعني يثب النمر وثوب الأسد, if you put it that way, what are we meaning are we giving? فهم السامع نوع هذا الوثوب. The listener understands the type of pouncing. So it is not just any pouncing, but the tigress pounced like a lion. فهذا الاسم المنصوب بين نوع الفعل. This particular اسم المنصوب, it has shown the type of action. كذلك يقال في المثالين الأخيرين. And such is said with the other examples in that category. So the second category, it comes لبيان النوع. يعني here we say مفعول مطلق لبيان النوع, to show the type of action. أي لبيان نوع الفعل. And then here it is للتوكيد أو للتأكيد, or you can say لتأكيد معنى الفعل. So with the first category, you can say the مفعول مطلق comes to serve the purpose of توكيد معنى الفعل. And then the second one, بيان نوع الفعل. Okay. And then we come to the last category. It says وعند الرجوع إلى الأمثلة الثلاثة الأخيرة. When we return back to the last three examples, نرى أننا استفدنا من الأسماء المنصوبة فائدة ظاهرة. When we come to the last three examples, we realize that we've gotten an apparent benefit, a new benefit from the مفعول مطلق. All the asma al-mansuba that is mentioned here, they are referring to the مفعول مطلق. فإن أكل علي, when you say أكل علي, تدل على أنه حصل منه أكل من غير أن نعرف عدد مرات هذا الفعل. When you say أكل علي, of course, نعم, Ali ate. Okay, we don't know how many times he ate and all that. We don't know the other information. فإذا أضفنا إلى ذلك أكلتين, when we add words like أكلتين, عرف ذلك العدد, we now know how many times he ate. وكذلك يقال في المثالين الآخرين, and such is said with the other examples. So the last one, what does it come to do? The last category here, we say مفعول مطلق لبيان عدد الفعل أو لبيان عدد مرات الفعل أو مرات حصول الفعل. Okay, so we come down. It says والآن نستطيع أن نقول إن كل اسم من هذه الأسماء التي تؤكد الفعل أو تبين نوعه أو عدده يسمى مفعولا مطلقا. So we can say that and mansub, a verbal noun that comes mansub in a verbal sentence to show emphasis or to show the type of the action. They are three: تؤكد الفعل أو تبين نوعه أو عدده. It either emphasizes the verb or shows the type of the action or shows the number of times the action occurred. Such ones we call them مفعول مطلق. Okay, when it is لبيان عدد, you find that the verbal noun is attached with a ta. So he didn't say أكل علي أكلين. He said أكلتين. When it is showing time, we give it a ta. Okay, let me add another faida. When we give it a ta like that, we also have another name for it. We call it ismu marra. So when you hear ismu marra in grammar, we mean a maf'ul mutlaq that has a ta marbuta. Okay, al-qaida, the grammatical ruling. Al-maf'ul mutlaq is definition: اسم منصوب موافق للفعل. اسم منصوب موافق للفعل. It is a noun that is accusative and it agrees with the verb. يعني it comes from the verb. موافق للفعل في لفظه, in terms of its letters. لفظه بمعنى حروفه. ويجيء بعد الفعل لتأكيده, and it comes after the verb to emphasize it. One, لتأكيده. أو لبيان نوعه, or to show the type of the action, the type of the verb. أو عدده, أو لبيان عدده, or to show the number of times the action or the verb occurred. Now this is مفعول مطلق. So now you know what مفعول مطلق is. First of all, it is اسم منصوب موافق للفعل في لفظه ويجيء بعد الفعل. These are its functions. لتأكيده, to emphasize it. لبيان عدده أو لبيان نوعه وعدده. Okay, when you look at books like Ajrumiyah, he will tell you اسم منصوب, to tell you اسم منصوب يأتي ثالثا في تصريف الفعل. That is how it will bring it, and we've explained it there, inshallah. Anybody who is interested, when you want to really enjoy these grammar lessons, please do well to couple this Ajrumiyah with this النحو الواضح with the Ajrumiyah lessons. And also I would like to inform you, this Ajrumiyah lessons has no way comes in no way to affect the flow of these lessons that we are doing, inshallah, because the Ajrumiyah lessons, they are already recorded lessons that I've been doing with a couple of people, and I decided to publish it here so that we all have benefit of it, inshallah. I pray we benefit enough and we understand grammar very well enough. Anything that is unclear to you, please do well to call our attention and we will clarify it for you. Of course, we need to do some i'rab. لعب حسن, we know the i'rab, فعل وفاعل. لعبا هي اسم مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Some will say مفعول مطلق منصوب على المصدرية. Some bring it like that. Some would say مصدر منصوب وعلامة مصدر منصوب على المصدرية وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. But then easily per this book, pick مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. You are free. That goes for all these three. We come here. وثوب الأسد. وثوب of course is the same i'rab for مفعول مطلق. مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره وهو مضاف. الأسد مضاف إليه مجرور وعلامة جره الكسرة. Okay, that goes for this two also. We come here. It is مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. سريعا is نعت. That is the adjective. نعت أو صفة منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. Then we come here أكلتين. It is the same مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه مثنى. Okay, because it's مثنى, the علامة النصب is الياء. Okay, أكلتين. You can add the لبيان النوع, you can add the للتأكيد, you can add the لبيان العدد to the إعراب. Like when you do the first one here, of course, you can say فعل مفعول مطلق منصوب وعلامة نصبه، أو you say مفعول مطلق مفعول مطلق للتأكيد. Again مفعول مطلق للتأكيد منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. وثوب الأسدي, here you can say مفعول مطلق لبيان النوع منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. That goes for all these, all of them, it goes for all these. أكلتين you can say مفعول مطلق لبيان العدد منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه مثنى. Okay. Okay, anything that is not understood, please let's do well to ask, inshallah. I think gradually we are going down the book 2. May Allah aid us to finish everything, inshallah. Till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.